So Matt, some difficult losses at the weekend there, 2 4-1 results. How are the players feeling at the moment going into this weekend?
You know, I think it's a bit of a mixed bag right now. I think the guys, obviously everybody's disappointed with not only how this weekend went, but last weekend as well. And you know, you have to, you know, we've been through this before. We did the same thing last year, being on the road at the start of the season, and you're going to have ups and downs, and you're going to have times where things don't seem to be clicking. But you know, you have to stay positive. You have to, you know, today was definitely a hard practice, and it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was punishment by any means, but it was, you know, I think it's getting back to doing the little things and you know, bearing down to score goals and you know, I think as far as the team goes, you know, the guys know that hey, it is only, you know, very early in the year, and if you wanted to, you could come up with all the excuses that you want, but that's not what we want to do. We lost 2 games on the weekend, and you know, you have to take your medicine and move on, and obviously going into next week, you want to correct that.
Obviously it's difficult, you don't want to be making excuses as such, but there's usually reasons for things, and one of the things that often comes up is the travel. It's like you said, it happened last season as well. Is it different coming into this one? Is the Champions Hockey League made a big difference? Obviously you hit the ground running really well, the results started great, but they have started to slide when you look at them on paper.
You know, again, I think if you say, you know, about the Champions League, I think that's just an excuse, you know, and you know, that's the kind of stuff for Finner to worry about. He's the coach. He's the one who, you know, comes to practice every day and tells us what we want. As players, we need to go out, do things the right way, stay positive, continue to support each other, and you know, after a while, things are going to turn, and you're going to look back. You know, hopefully we can look back a month, 2 months from now and say, geez, felt like you were skating uphill the whole time back in September, but we know that Finner's systems work. We know that, you know, how he coaches works because it worked for us last year and it worked really well, and I think that it's just a matter of getting everybody on the same page, and you know, and it starts obviously with myself. You want to be trying to do the right thing every time. Hopefully everybody can follow in behind, and you know, we have a really good group of guys this year, and you know, there's obviously a lot of skill, but when you have people with the resumes that we have, they've obviously had to compete and earn everything they've gotten this far. So I think that, you know, we're in good shape with the kind of guys that we have, and I think it's only a positive. And yeah, it's been tough, but we're going to get out of it, and we're going to stay positive and make it work.
As you say, some of these guys come in with really impressive resumes. Everyone is still really looking forward to seeing the team competing throughout the year. But do you think also the general standard of the league's jumped up, and particularly some of the goalkeeping? I mean, there's been a fantastic number of shots on goal. The shot creation has not been a problem, but there's been some great goaltending from opposition goaltenders as well, hasn't there?
Yeah, well, I remember I said it last year that when I got here, you had always heard that maybe the UK was a level down from some of the other leagues in Europe, and honest to God, like, you can take the top line off of every team on this league and put them into one of the top leagues in Europe, and you're not going to notice a huge drop off, and I think that obviously you can look at our team, and obviously we have a lot of depth, and you know, our British players are good British players, and they can eat up valuable minutes, and I think that, you know, as far as goaltending or this or that, with us just maybe not scoring goals, yeah, maybe we start looking at that because we haven't been scoring goals. But you know, it's bearing down, and when you get an opportunity to score, you got to score, and obviously with my offensive output so far, I'm not exactly thrilled with it, but it's a work in progress, and you keep your head up and you work hard and they'll start going in.
And looking forward to this weekend. I mean, as you said, the players have been working hard in training, but you've been training in Edinburgh, and the game's coming up against Edinburgh. Is that a huge positive to take? I mean, it'll be a rink that you're used to almost more than your own home rink.
Yeah, well, of course, we've skated there quite a lot already, and you kind of know what you're getting going into Edinburgh, and they're a good team. They're a sneaky team that you know, we've seen it in the past. Even the first game we played them, you know, Finner said today they're a different team now than they were a couple of weeks ago when we played them, and I think, yeah, definitely, you know, getting on the big ice and you know, working in our lines on that big ice. You know, there's different. Obviously, you play a little bit different on bigger ice than you do on smaller ice, and the systems change a little bit. But yeah, it's a obviously a positive for us, but Edinburgh's skating on the same ice all week, so it's it's one of those things where it's just we got to wait till puck drop and we got to all come ready to play, and these are our last 2 road games before we get a couple at home, so we definitely want to come back home feeling good about ourselves.
Of course, in that final road games against Coventry Blaze and an old teammate Neil Trim there, looking forward to see him on the ice. Are you going to be looking out for him? A couple of extra digs for Trimmer?
Oh yeah. He was such a good guy around here, a good guy in the dressing room, and obviously he was a really good player for us, and I was sad to see him go, but it'll be nice to see him on Sunday and obviously have a look and see if he's still doing the same quirky things he was doing last year. And you just laugh when you see a guy like Trimmer. He cares so much, and obviously he's going to want to do everything he can to beat us, but of course, like we just talked about, it's a big game for us, and a big weekend, and we want to go down there and get the points and set ourselves up for coming back home.
I'll be looking forward to it. And just finally, one last thing also, Stefan Meyer was missing from the games this weekend, obviously due to his to Chantal being pregnant at the moment. He's on standby, but will he be playing, do you think, on Saturday? If you had a chat with him as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to him, and I think it seems like everything's kind of just in a holding pattern for him, and he was back at practice today and obviously worked hard like he always does, and obviously he's a huge piece to the puzzle, and when Stefan gets going, he starts scoring goals, and he could really change the way a game goes just by playing the way that he can, and obviously, yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to having him back whenever that happens, but of course, when you have your baby being born and family and stuff, sometimes comes a little bit more important than hockey is, and the guys in the team will do our best to pick him up if he's not there.
Nesbitt obviously stepped up onto your line there as well. What was it like having him alongside? He's had a great start to his Braehead career, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he's a good player, and he keeps it pretty simple, and obviously he's quick. He competes hard, and I think that it's definitely it's good. It's good to when people are missing. It's good to get other guys opportunities to step up and prove that they can play and show that they can play, and I think that just speaks to the depth that we have here. And of course, we didn't get the results on the weekend, but you could look at both games, and I thought that either one of them could have gone either way. So it's something that we want to address and get on with.
He'll be hoping that Chantal can just hold on a little while longer while he gets his chance.
Yeah, exactly. It's obviously an important time, and everybody's really happy for them and excited for it to happen for them, and I'm sure he's sitting patiently waiting for it to come, and it's a good thing, and I think it's something that definitely brings the team together as well when stuff like that happens.
You'll be facing that as well soon. We'll talk to you later about that, Matt. I know that's on the way, yeah?
All right.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Yeah. Thank you. So, Ryan, nearing the end now of a difficult run of road trips. However, that was a really tough couple of games to take in Belfast and in Nottingham.
Yeah, and obviously it's tough anytime you compile losses like we have. But looking at it here, like in Belfast, I thought we played pretty well and had and created enough chances to definitely take a good lead going into that second, and we've been struggling to score goals, but overall with the game, looking back and then watching it back again, I thought we played pretty well. The number of penalties definitely affected the game. They call 17 minor penalties. It makes for a choppy game, but I thought we played a pretty good road game, and had it been another day, I think we'd given ourselves a pretty good chance to win. Unfortunately, with the way things are going right now, we're not getting the bounces. And then Nottingham, anytime you spot a team like that, 2-goal lead, it's going to make for a long night. Especially with us chasing the game and the long road trips and whatnot. You maybe don't have the energy levels you might have if that happened at home, and so it made for a frustrating night for us. And like I said, we didn't give ourselves a chance to compete and to win that game. And here we find we're kind of we've other than the tie in Cardiff, the 1 point in Cardiff, we've lost 3 in a row. Some have been Challenge Cup and in a couple league games. So it's not something that we're used to, and it's difficult, but it's also a time to kind of see what kind of character we have and what kind of bounce back we can get back here. We got 2 tough games, 2 more tough road games coming up before our homestand. So. You got to be realistic at this time of year. It's not about panicking, and it's about adjusting and finding ways through it together as a group, and that's our focus this week.
Obviously some positives, like you mentioned, both games, 30 plus chances on goal there. Is it a case of creating better chances now? Is that the kind of case?
Yeah, I think I think we're looking at the quality of shots and in our battling. I think we lost a lot of 50-50 pucks in areas where had we won it, we would have maybe had an opportunity to score. And looking to create some more opportunities, utilizing our the 5-man unit and bringing our D up and trying to be a bit more creative that way. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things when it's not going well, it's not going well, and no matter how hard you work, it seems to you dig a deeper hole here. So right now it's just about, as a group, like I told the guys today, we had a good tough practice today, and said it's not going to be one individual that gets us out of it. We're going to have to find a way as a group here to get out of it and learn and understand what's going on, and championships aren't won and lost right now, so we got to. This is a good thing for us to go through. When you take the positive out of everything, it's a good thing for us to go through now and see how we react, and see if we can find a way. Winning does amazing things. Confidence comes back, one win, and guys start to shake off the rust, and you can go on and kickstart your season again. And we know we have a good group here. That's one thing. We know we are good. We know we have a good team here. So it's just about finding that confidence, and once the goals start coming in, I think the monkey will get off the back and we start rolling here. But it just doesn't happen. We got to do a lot of little things before that happens.
Before we look forward to this weekend's games coming up, also an important missing factor this weekend with Stefan Meyer obviously out with his partner being pregnant, and is there any update on that here, and what impact did that have on the lines? Obviously pretty much everything changed, everything had to be jiggled around. Yeah,
but we're built for that, obviously, and it's a great situation for Mizey and a tough situation for the team here, but there are things that are far more important than hockey at times, and that's definitely one. So,
is there any update on that situation at the moment?
Nothing yet. Yeah, we're still waiting for Chantel to do her part here. So no, it's like you said, it is what it is, and we wish them nothing but the best, and then Chantel here in the near future. But yeah, it's a good opportunity. Obviously, Nesbitt moves up on that line. I thought he did good. Our special teams juggle around, but it's no excuse. I mean, we got good depth. We got great depth, and it gives guys an opportunity to move up on the lines and see what they can do. And I don't think it had. It didn't have a big effect on us. I think where last year it would have really affected us, but. Saying that here, like I said, as a group, we just got to find a way to come together, get through it, and move on and put it behind us here. But it starts in practice and off ice training and mentally and physically being ready to go as come the weekend.
Yeah, and with that in mind, obviously you've got an interesting game up against Edinburgh. Obviously one good result already against Edinburgh this season, that 3-0 result. But also it's a rink that the players are used to. You've been travelling over there, which also doesn't help not getting ice time and stuff like that. But at least in this case, could that be a positive? The guys know that rink better than their own, I guess, at the moment.
Yeah, we're going to skate in there all week. And then we'll play there Saturday. And like I said, it kind of feels like a home game with the amount of traveling support we get there. So yeah, we had a good result there last time. It's nice skating in the same rink and then playing. It almost feels like we're playing at home. So, but they're playing a lot better. They got a big win on the weekend, and they're a better team than what we saw. So it's going to be a battle. Now you can't go in thinking anything's a foregone conclusion here. You got to make sure that you're ready to compete each night, and I think my guys will be ready to go come Saturday. We got a long week of preparation, but I think I got a good feeling we'll be ready to go this weekend.
And then after that, as we're coming to the end of this really tough bit of travelling, but Coventry are the next team up there. Obviously a familiar face for Clan fans there will be Neil Trim. Is he someone you'll be looking out for? Obviously Coventry have put quite an interesting team together as well, looking pretty dangerous in parts, but is he someone you'll be looking out for?
Yeah, obviously we know how dangerous Trimmer can be, especially on the special teams, and his puck controls is good. He draws guys to him and he can find open guys here. So it'll be good to see Trimmer. Obviously he's a threat though. He's one of their top offensive guys, and we'll have to make sure that we keep him in check. But yeah, they look like they got an offensive team. They got some guys that Lucas Avik, guys that we're familiar with that we'll see over there, and it should be a good game. It's a long travel day there, but in a tight barn, and I think both teams are hungry for a win here, so it should be a good battle.
And lastly, Ryan, how desperate are you to get back into this barn? Or are you enjoying this travel in some way? It must be good for team bonding, but there's been a lot of team bonding so far with travels to Europe and so far. How desperate are you to get back in here and in front of the home fans again? What an advantage is that?
Yeah, it just allows us to get set in a routine. Our routine right now is driving, and and it just allows everything. You know, it allows us to use our facility, our dressing room, our video room, our training room. It just kind of gives guys that home. It's like finally coming back home and getting settled and unpacking and putting the suitcase away for a bit. So yeah, no, it's nice. And like I said, this is, you know, the arena are great to us here, and the interior are fantastic with us, and just having that standardized set practice time with our workouts and allowing our video time to be, you know, all through the week here as opposed to on the run is like we're doing. So it's nice, you know, but a couple wins coming home will definitely make it a lot nicer.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you get quite welcome, Ryan. Thanks, yeah.
Thank you.